Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on employability at University of Southampton Delhi campus. We have with us a distinguished panel, I should say, to discuss and talk to you about our efforts at employability, placements, career services, and all things about industry interaction at University of Southampton Delhi campus. In this webinar, you can expect to know about our the ways that we make you uh, prepare you for placements, prepare you for careers. We'll talk about the Successful Futures award-winning initiative that we have at University of Southampton. We'll talk about the placement scenario for the first batch of PG students who are graduating in November this year, who will finish the course in September and are graduating in November this year, and many of them were already placed. We have with us today Ridham Khurana and Harsh Rana, who are students of the PG program, the 1 year PG program that we have and will be graduating in November. And of course, we have Monisha Tandon, who is the head of the Career Advancement Services or Career Services, as we call it, at University of Southampton Delhi campus. And today we'll touch on topics, everything about employability and placements. And feel free to ask your questions. You can type them in the chat, and we'll also, ensure that all your questions are answered after the brief discussion that we have in today's session. So, before we start, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Amit Tyagi. I'm the director for marketing and student recruitment at University of Southampton Delhi campus, and I'll be the host for this webinar today. I have over 20 years of work experience in the education industry, mostly in higher education institutions. I'm myself done my MBA from IIM Calcutta, and I'm an engineer from NIT Kurukshetra. Now, let me now today introduce to you the guests for today. And first up, let me introduce you all to Monisha. Monisha is the head of career advancement services at University of Southampton Delhi campus, and she has extensive experience in industry collaboration, industry partnerships, market outreach for new client acquisitions, and large account management. Over the years, she has been in various roles related to setting up new customer bases, channel management, recruitment, skill development, and manpower deployment. She has primarily worked in the education sector, and she enjoys understanding concepts like online assessment, skill development, fundraising, business partner management, and developing career services. She's an alumni of DPS RK Puram. She's done her BA honors from Delhi University, and she's also completed her MBA from Symbiosis University. And here she is today to talk to you about our placements and employability at University of Southampton Delhi. Welcome, Monisha. And
Thank you, Amit.
sh- and we have with us today two of our students who are uh, currently in the first and final year. We have a 1 year MSc programs at University of Southampton. They are in the first year. They're currently in the third trimester, as we call it. They'll be completing their courses in September, and they will be graduating in November this year. They have already been placed, and they'll also share their insights about how University of Southampton help them in terms of enhancing the employability, the career opportunities that they have been part of, and how the kind of work they are doing currently at university and beyond. So let me introduce Ridham to you. Ridham has pursued her UG in BSc Accounting and Finance at University of Southampton UK campus, and she's doing her PG MSc Finance at the Delhi campus. She is also part of the Phenomics Club at USD, which is the club which promotes finance and economics learning on the campus, and she's the investments and trading head at Phenomics Club at University of Southampton, and she's currently placed as a financial analyst at LK Consulting. We also have Harsh Rana. He has completed his UG in BTech Computer Science at Guru Gobind Singh in Indraprastha University, and is pursuing MSc International Management at University of Southampton Delhi campus. He had 14 months of work experience prior to enrolling in the MSc program at USD, primarily in his family business prior to joining the 1 year program. He is also the student council president at University of Southampton Delhi, and is currently a data analyst. He's got placed as a data analyst at Investec. Welcome to all of you as to be part of this particular webinar, and I'm sure the incoming students will get a lot of insights from your experiences and your conversation with us today. So let's start off the webinar by asking you, Monisha, about the overall concept of careers at University of Southampton Delhi. Many students and parents often think that career support starts only in the final semester. It's about getting interviews, getting companies to come and interview the students at the campus. But we at university understand, and I'm sure you're the best person to answer that, it's much more than just getting a company to interview the student. It's much more than that, and there's a lot of preparation which actually goes behind even before the students meet representative of the organization as part of the first interview. So what is the whole philosophy of careers or career development at University of Southampton look like from your perspective, Monisha?
So thank you so much, Amit, for having us over this evening, and it's a great opportunity. And it's always lovely to talk to prospective parents and students, and especially when I'm joined by two of our brightest from the foundation batch, which is Harsh and which is Rhythm. So thanks for taking out time, both of you as well. So I think for everybody who's here today and everybody who's a prospective parent or a student, it's very important to know that University of Southampton is a top 100 global university, and being part of the Russell Group set of institutions, it has a legacy of about 150 plus years. It's the first global top 100 university in India, UGC approved. We have a campus in Gurgaon, which started last year. And you rightfully said that employability and career preparation is at the core of the university experience. In fact, we have a framework which is called the Successful Futures Framework, which develops all the skills one will need for careers as they proceed forward. In fact, today, students are not limited only to the career of the stream that they are in. Rhythm and Harsh will also add to what I'm saying, but I think having skills which are mapped to what the industry requires, what the recruiters of tomorrow are going to expect, and how one will continue upskilling themselves is at the core of the principles at University of Southampton. We take the Successful Futures program very seriously, and we make sure that students, whether it is undergraduate or postgraduate, are exposed to both the aspects of it, whether it is preparing for corporate employment or whether it is preparing for enterprise.
Great, great. So my next question on similar lines would be to the students. I'll start with Rhythm first. Rhythm, you are in a master's program. You undergone a undergrad program, and there is a concept of placements that you find in undergrad program, and you come with those preconceived notions of what placement is like at colleges. So how did you feel about the career services that you are part of at University of Southampton Delhi? And did you have a concrete idea of what you wanted out of the careers here, or did it evolve over a period of time once you went through different programs, different initiatives that Monisha and her team lined up for you?
Right. Thank you, Amit. First of all, good evening, everybody. Hi, Monisha. So just first of all, a huge thanks to my employment is to Monisha. It started when we joined the university, and the best things which I never even got at the UK campus was a one-on-one personal session with my trainer, which was Monisha. She does an in-depth analysis, first of all, of who you are as a person, of what you have done, and moreover, what you want to do. because they're here to create future leaders. As for the placements, even in my undergrad at Southampton, I have been a part of a 4 year degree program wherein the first 2 years you were supposed to study, which is your first year and second year. Then third year you can do something called a placement, which is a 1 year program which you can do with any company that you like. It's a full time job, but it's only limited to a 1 year contract, right? And then third year you come back, you graduate, and then you go on to your endeavors. However, in University of Southampton Delhi, we mostly were taught through SIPs, which is something you call a student innovation project. It's small internships that you do in 4 to 8 weeks, and you actually do it with recognized global brands. So for me, that really helped me get my job, if I'm being honest. I did that with Grant Thornton Bharat, which is one of the big five companies in the world. It's a great place to work. I was selected upon a group discussion, which was again handled all of very well by Monisha and the team. Um, and apart from that, everybody was given a chance to do a student innovation project, which really helps you understand how to work in a team, how to grow yourself, and how to work on a specified problem skill set that your employers in everyday basis. I am at work right now. My employer had given me a problem which I have just solved. And this is something so similar and something that I am working on so well because of what I have learned in my innovation project. I did that with Investec. And actually, this is really interesting because a lot of things are based on AI right now. We created an AI which basically maps your end-to-end credit workflows. It is an AI which helps you get a loan. Can you believe that? How innovative is that? And it's all interlinked. We got a chance to work in a group. We got a chance to work with the senior authority and Investec at Grant Thornton, and all of these things have been only possible, I think, because of where I was. Some of the opportunities I've gotten here, I might not even have gotten in England, which is why I'm really glad I went here.
In fact, that's an interesting point you make, Rhythm. We at University of Southampton Delhi have replicated the employability model that we have at University of Southampton UK campus, with one exception, and which you rightly pointed out, is the personalized attention
Exactly.
which Monisha and her team gives to all the students, and that's one key departure, if I may call it, from what we offer at US and what we offer at University of Southampton Delhi, because we have a team like which actually goes out to the organizations, pitches the students, brings them to the campus for interviews, and not just UK companies but also Indian companies. So we have had a company like Zomato, which is right within the campus, which is very close to the
Yeah.
campus. They have come down to interview students. So that's kudos to the additional efforts that Monisha and her team does to bring in campus the companies, and that's something which is very unique to our campus, and totally agree with you there. So Harsh, you come from a traditional Indian college, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasad University. How was your experience of building employability and placements at USD Delhi campus?
Uh, thank good good evening, everyone. Actually, I am not well actually today.
No issues, you can just share your thoughts, that will be perfectly fine.
From IP University to UK recognized top 100 university US. So I think USD of is one of the best. I feel very fortunate to be a part of USD. Like I never experienced this type of things in India. Like going for having a practical knowledge. Like if you are doing something in a course or a subject, you have to go through from basics to advanced. But in India you have to was study one day before your exam so you can just pass. But like University of Southampton, you cannot do that. You have to work hard for 1 month. Like if, in my strategic subject, I have to study for 1 month just on the case study, so I have to pass exam. It's not like that one day before you can just. So it's very good experience. Even being a part of student council as a president, it was one of the, like, as the first cohort, as the first president, and the first one of the first students who placed. So I was very feel lucky that I choose a good university for that. So for so on in Investec, when I'm going through with the all new corporate things, how things work out. But I think already done in my university because of the president or some activities of like projects, group discussions. So I think it's one of the best thing for me. So so far so I'm very happy with that.
Agreed, agreed. I mean, that's the beauty of the curriculum that we teach at University of Southern Delhi. It's not about passing the exams with one night of study,
Yeah.
unless and until you've gone through all the nuances. It doesn't seem very rigorous in the sense that you have to want to pull all-nighters, but you have to be present throughout in all the classes to understand the concepts, to understand the case studies, and that also helps you in terms of your interviews and working on the job. I think that's one key feature of our employability model, which Manisha will talk more about in subsequent questions. Monisha, coming back to you, what are the specific initiatives that you have lined up, apart from the curriculum, of course, which is prepares students to help students in terms of being employable, to help students in terms of ensuring that they're able to present themselves to the organizations and be prepared for the roles which they have got in this placement season and which they'll get eventually as well.
So, Amit, I think that's like you said, and like we heard Rhythm and Harsh talk, that although the university is a legacy university, it has a campus in UK, it has a campus in Malaysia, but the Indian expectations and the Indian style of teaching and learning is very, very different. And what's at the core of us is not only to replicate the legacy of the institution, but also to be able to make students fit into the economy that they are in, which is primarily one of the reasons which draws the students to the Delhi campus. We heard Rhythm and Harsh talk about the fact that there is an emphasis on preparation for interviews, and that starts pretty much early on. In fact, right away during induction, we have almost 2 weeks, which is dedicated to inducting or onboarding students into various facets of the university, whether it is employability, whether it is enterprise, whether it is academic functions, or whether it is even cultural or extracurricular functions. And Harsh, being student president, of course, would remember all the fun times that we've had at induction. At the same point in time, the first term sets the base for not only academics but also taking a step forward in preparing for what we call as outcomes after graduation. Now, students come in with various aspirations, and the world is the limit these days. So, students, whether they're coming in for masters or whether they're coming in for undergraduates, go through their career advisor sessions, they go through their career counseling. We have a dedicated support through a portal which works across all the campuses in a similar fashion, which is something called the My Career Portal. And that facilitates interview preparation, CV preparation, resume building, having access to LinkedIn Learning and all other content which will enable career preparation. In addition to that, we make sure that students are coached, whether it is for preparing themselves for interviews or to be able to discuss any particular thing that is important for them as they take their step forward, or for students who are wanting to build something of their own and guide them towards the enterprise route. In our foundation year, we've got great response from partnering organizations, also because of the legacy of the parent institute, also because of the doors that have been opened from the UK campus in a lot of organizations, but most importantly, because of the alumni base that we have, which is at India, which also allows us to build a lot of momentum on ground. So, yes, organizations like Zomato, organizations like Optum or JLL, people who are within the vicinity of the International Tech Park, which is in Gurgaon, of course, those are creating the maximum advantage. But organizations which have had a long-standing relationship with the brand name of University of Southampton, whether it is HSBC, whether it is Deloitte, whether it is organizations like Oxford Groups, those are the ones which are creating avenues for our students. And right now, it's lovely to know that even though the first batch hasn't passed out, and which is our master students, and Rhythm and Harsh, both of them are part of our foundation batch. They're still in term three, but we've been able to create opportunities for many of our students, whether it is through internships or whether it is through internship linked PPOs or whether it is through full time hiring opportunities. So I think at the core of it is the program that we very proudly call as Successful Futures. It comprises of a lot of skills which we map across every course, and we make sure that those skills are a feedback that we receive from organizations, from alumni, from our own students. And those skills, according to us, are going to be most important as we prepare for the workforce of tomorrow. That's at the basis of all our programs, whether at the undergraduate and or the postgraduate level. In addition to that, there are the regular checkpoints of career preparation, interview preparation, career counseling, the 4 weeks of student innovation projects, which are really the live industry projects that the university facilitates for students, which create a very, very sound base for students as they transition outside of the classroom into the workforce.
Great. You spoke a lot of initiatives there for students. So my question to Rhythm and then to Harsh is, which of these initiatives you think impacted the most, in your journey towards getting placed on the campus? Rhythm, how about you going first?
Definitely. One of the core memories is I remember having this chat with Monisha and the whole management team at Southampton Delhi, and we first of all, anybody who is listening, we have a big thing at Southampton Delhi of talking. We communicate a lot, and you feel anything is bothering you. You feel you might need a little bit more help with something. You can go to anybody there, and which is exactly what we did. We spoke to Monisha about placements. We spoke to her about everything, about how we feel underprepared for interviews. And within, I think, a week or two, she had already gotten somebody hired for us to work with for 5 weeks. Dr. Rajita, who is in fact a professional for interview coaching, LinkedIn. She's got honestly about 20,000 followers on LinkedIn as well. So pretty influential people I've met through the university, through Monisha, and all of these initiatives, they really come to life when you're standing in front of 50 people and you have to introduce yourself. This is when you're put on the spot, and that is exactly what happened in my classroom, which is exactly what happened in my interview, because I could think all of the points that I have learned in the classes. You don't get that everywhere. That is, I think, one of the best things that I've learned. Definitely.
How about you, Harsh?
During my interview, there was a first question asked by me, ki, how actively you are in participating career activities. So I told them about I'm the student council president, as well as there was a social impact boot camp which my team won, and which was a very good one. And there was a many interaction like leadership, interaction, communication, and activities like for teamwork. So you can learn teamwork, how you communicate, and there are many things. When I joined the university, I was not like that, talking to many people or talking on a webinar. So because of University of Southampton, that's the one reason I'm here right now. So as well as there many things which I can't remember right now, but the one thing I really appreciate the social impact boot camp.
Of
Uh,
course.
it was a 3 day boot camp. It just helped me to gain experience, gain confidence, how to speak, how you can present your ideas, how you can present yourself betterly. So, and for interview, it's one of the best thing you while as we say, ki if you have an interview, you have to sell yourself. So you
Correct.
don't talk about yourself, you can sell yourself. So communication is the one thing which helped me because of the University of Southampton. So one of the best thing.
Exactly. I think those are the events like the Spark India boot camp and other boot camps. They ensure that our students have a chance to groom themselves and prepare their skill sets, not just for the interview but also beyond. Rhythm, what was your interview experience like? How did it go? What was asked? So that people who are
Of
looking
course.
to join
So,
next year can learn from you.
my major has been finance. I have been a finance girl since school, and the moment this came along by email, which it usually does, any opportunities that come through, they come through immediately to you. I sent in my CV, and the next day I got a call. I think that they really, and the first thing I was told was that you're a good fit. We've already been given a profile about you from university, which is why I think university is a much better place to get placed rather than going outside and looking on your own. Of course, you can do that as well, but a university, if I have to tell you, it's a fast track, right? Because you have people like Monisha and the team and from where you belong. So the interview questions, they mostly look like what you have done in your life, what have you learned, but mostly what have you learned from your masters as well. Because if you think about it, it's mostly a same practical experience of life. It's much different than an undergrad. And for an undergrad, I think Southampton will really, it sets the base, like Monisha said, it sets the base for you. And if you decide to do a master's like me from the same university, it makes your life. So it's just that. But overall, in the interview process, not a lot. Mine was actually quite nice. They asked me about my work experiences. They usually ask you about a lot of internships. Most of that was talking about Grant Thornton, and most of that was talking about Investec as well, which really impressed them. I would suggest everybody here to go for AI enabled projects, and we are doing that a lot. AI at Southampton is a big thing. We might even, I think we also have clubs for it now.
Mm.
So, and the best thing is that you can be innovators. So, innovate, create, and you can experience everything all together. And that
Ex-
really helps up in your interviews. You need to showcase not just what you've learned at university, but also the kind of person you are. And I think going to this university exactly sets you up for that.
Exactly. I mean, rightly spoken. AI is something where students need to focus on, concentrate on, even if you're not from those branches, even if you're from
Yeah.
finance, economics. But that's going to play a key role in a lot of areas going forward. And in fact, Southampton University is best placed to leverage on this trend because we have a history of research in these areas. If you know Tim Berners-Lee, the founder of Internet,
Yeah.
is was a faculty at University of Southampton. He was doing research at University of Southampton when he invented the internet. Dame Wendy Hall recently visited the campus as well, and she talked about AI. She was part of the she was a keynote speaker at the AI summit which happened in Delhi. So I think if you're looking at incorporating AI in your CADs, Southampton USD is the best place to be in India on that front. Now, let question to Monisha on the theme that Rhythm has also touched upon. She talked about undergrad students as well. So Monisha, what steps are we taking? Because I know there's still time for undergrad students to get placed. They're currently in the first year, and they still have 2 more years to go before they join the workforce. So what are the initiatives we have in place for the undergraduate students to be employable and be ready for interviews and interaction with organizations in the final years?
So I think it's very important for us to acknowledge the fact, Amit, and since we are inside the university, we already are aware that the 3-year bachelor's program is on the UK curriculum, and it's designed in a way that it has a lot of scope for students to be able to do self-work, self-study, explore with what is it that they are wanting to do aspirationally at the end of the program. The year typically looks like year one, year two, and year three for all our bachelor's programs. The year one, from an employability support system, we have an employability induction. We have the introduction to career services, introduction to career advisor sessions, what we call as career coaching, where not only in a group but also as one-to-one individual career guidance is given to students. Most of year one and year two for the undergraduate students is spent on attending guest lectures and industry presentations, industry visits, along with summer internships in year two. The year two for the undergraduate students also has something that is called a 4 weeks of live industry project. Internally, we call it the Student Innovation Projects, which are SIPs. Along with it, preparation of careers through the Careers Bootcamp, something that Harsh also mentioned, where we have our team from UK, which comes down and interacts with students. Year three for the undergraduate students is planned in a way that we will prepare them for active interviews, and many of them by that time will move into organizations as either interns or internship link placements. It's also very important for students right now to understand the lay of the land from an industry viewpoint. What we are doing at the university, of course, is to keep in mind the legacy of the university itself and to understand the challenges and the opportunities of the Indian market. But what really is happening outside from a workforce perspective is that the engagement timelines from an industry are becoming much longer. Gone are those days when people would want to take you after doing 2 interviews or 3 interviews as a full time hire. We heard both Rhythm and Harsh talk about the fact that sometimes there's an internship, sometimes the internship becomes much longer, sometimes a lot of organizations these days are moving into an apprenticeship model, which is a much longer engagement. And what is it that they are trying to find out in that duration is to find out how a student is going to adapt with the changes that are happening in the industry, whether it is the challenges of AI, whether it is the challenges of certain core streams, whether it is finance, like Rhythm mentioned, or maybe maybe data sciences, for all you know. There are opportunities and there are challenges both ways. So the undergraduate and the postgraduate program are structured in a way that they cater to all of these needs. Of course, the postgraduate program is much more fast paced. It creates opportunities for students within 3 terms. And so that's why, for the undergraduates, you have year one, year two, year three, but for the postgraduates, it's much shorter. But for the undergraduate students who are coming to us straight after class 12, they will have a transition period, which is going to be year one, which will be more of induction to career services. Year two, which will be practicality, which will mean exposing themselves on student innovation projects, industry visits, guest lectures, summer internships, and of course the careers bootcamp. And year three, finally, of placement preparation and interview preparation.
Great, great, Manisha. So now, question to Rhythm and then Harsh. A lot of people, at least till few years back, felt that if we have a good academic score, the chances of getting employable are higher. But what has been your experience? Is it just about academics, or did the interviewers look for things beyond academics? Harsh, you have touched upon it briefly, but let's reinforce the message for students. Should we just focus on academics, or should you also have other skill sets lined up? And how do you get those skill sets? Rhythm, and your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. So definitely, this is a stigma in going around in the world, whether you should focus too much on your studies, whether you should focus too much on your curriculars, extracurriculars. I think the best thing to have is a balance of both. Definitely don't overlook your academics, because at Southampton, it's no piece of cake. Let me be very honest. You need to put in the right amount of effort in order to get really good grades. And I really think all of you will. But apart from that, interviewers, they look for a lot of things, but rightly so, the skill set, the techniques that we were taught. So just focusing on the induction, the 2 week induction, which Monisha, I'm sorry, mentioned. So the UK faculty, they came here and they took a whole day just on building our skills, just on telling us what are the 16 skills that you need in order to get placed. And not even just in order to get placed, in order to create your personal brand, in order to how you can teach others, in order to how you can teach yourself, and how you can make sure that you are the employee that everybody wants to hire. So I don't have the list on me. Otherwise, maybe we could have even shared that with everybody. But it's a part of the framework at Southampton. There are 16 skills which are pretty relevant for you to have. And I think a lot of you will already have a lot of them. But Southampton would be the place where you would just make them perfect. You just have to. Southampton will give you the culmination of the right amount of studying that you need, because it is again a format of self-studying. You have in university study with your professors, which is 1-to-1, and then again you have your extracurriculars. We have had multiple football events, we have had cricket events, we have had so many social events already. Friday parties were a usual thing at Southampton, so it's really a social thing. But apart from the social thing, for careers, I think just that skill set building, you can do that with Successful Futures, which is the pathway that we have in my career. And constantly being in contact with Monisha, always just discussing your skills, whether what is it, if any plans change for you, anything happens for you, you discuss, you keep talking, you talk to other people, sit in conversations which make you uncomfortable, because that is how you will learn. Definitely. So it's not, I don't think it's just the studying, it's a part of it, but majorly it's the person that you are. Definitely.
Great. Harsh, how about you? What are your thoughts on studies versus the balance, or one thing is higher? What is your take on that?
Actually, I'm very happy right now. I just got the second semester.
Yeah.
I I got a
I
good mark.
haven't even
So,
checked mine.
yeah, good. So, for academics, I guess you have to, like Rhythm said, ki you have to balance yourself with academic and extracurricular activities. Like I used to, whenever I get time, I used to go for my assignments for 2 to 3 hours a day, because it's very important to give you 2 to 3 hours on your course, because it's give you like we have a lecture for 2 hours, and we have a support session of 1 hour, so we can get resolve our queries with our professors also. So for that you have to study hard for 2 to 3 hours for one subject every day. And as well as when you get free time, you should focus on your skills like communications, or listen to the industry experts. Like during our second semester and first semester, we met many industry experts. Where we got chance to get their experience, how corporates work, world works, and how companies hire. What are the expectations for the interviewer? So we have to work on that also. Firstly, we have to listen to the experience, and we have to write down, and we have to make a table that we have to work from starting basics to advanced. Like if you have a issue with communication, if you have a issue with your skills, we have to start with that. For that we have to listen with the industry experts as well as the professors. They're very helpful, and whenever you want to, and they are very easy to interact. So if you want
Yeah.
to chill, you can play badminton and still ask queries, like I used to with my professor. Like I was playing basketball with my Nitish sir, and during that I asked many questions. So it was very interactive and very helpful for us. So for academics and for interview, don't always go with like you have just want to go have a job. Just think
Yeah.
yourself first. So if you are good with your skills, or if you're good with what you love to do, you easily can crack an interview first. What I think.
Great, great. So what I hear from both of you is that have a balance, but be at least adapt in both the aspects. Build your skills apart from academics as well. Great.
Yeah.
Uh, so, for question to you, Monisha, we have heard a lot about successful futures in this particular webinar. We talked about the skill sets and so on and so forth. So, what are some of the practical aspects of successful futures? I hear that a lot of alumni are involved. I hear we have a 5 year support. How does it work in that sense?
So I think if you look at the framework of the university, Amit, I think at the core of it is being a legacy institution. The core of it is, of course, academics. Our academic leaders, whether they're the fact that they're all internationally qualified faculty, they're recruited as per the same standards as the UK campus with absolutely no compromise anywhere. More than half of our faculty are bringing international teaching work experience into the Delhi campus, which also is extremely commendable, especially when we look at universities in the private space currently in India. Also, the fact that I think probably all of our faculty has published in international
Yeah.
academic journals. I think that also is a huge, huge plus point when it comes to being aspirational and inspirational at the same point in time. So, any institution which has academics at the base of it and is covering all of these aspects, I think has a big tick in the box. At the same point in time, with the side functions of what we call as employability, with the support from the alumni, with the support from the similar kind of support and services from the UK campus, Malaysia campus, and Delhi campus, with absolutely no difference anywhere, we've been able to localize the I would say the extent with which we are caring for the graduation outcomes of students from the Delhi campus. But again, I think I would really like students to know whether they are looking at the undergraduate program or whether they are looking at the postgraduate program, that there should be a high amount of self work and self worth that the generation today needs to focus on. Organizations love to hire someone who has the basic credentials, but these days they are looking for much more extra in terms of a personality, both professionally and personally. They want somebody to come in with additional skills. They want somebody to be a quick learner. They want somebody to be able to take the initiative and maybe also believe in some of the old school things that have kind of gotten left behind. With both our young people today, whether it's Rhythm or whether it's Harsh, they are sitting in their offices, they are doing these interactions with our prospective students. But it's very endearing to know that whatever they've learned at the university, they're getting a chance to be able to present all of that in the organization. At the same point in time, they're having to bring a lot more from their own self. So whether it is Rhythm who brings with her an undergraduate degree at a foreign campus overseas, or whether it is Harsh who's bringing a traditional undergraduate degree from one of the best institutions in India, and at the same point in time, his overall aura of being the student president, I think both those combinations are making them what they are today. And to the students who are exploring universities or who are considering this as an option, I think you should keep in mind that the course and the program that you're choosing is, of course, going to make a lot of difference. But what you're willing to do with the time that you have in hand, the skills that you have, the networks that you build, all of that, the university can give you the services, but at the end of the day, a lot of that will have to be done on your own initiative. So yes, within the employability framework, we do have networking sessions, we have alumni sessions, we have guest lectures, we have industry visits. But at the same point in time, students who benefit from it are the ones who are taking that initiative and who are building those connections. And they definitely are moving much more faster.
Great, great, Manisha. So, audience, you can type in your questions either in the chat or in the Q&A. I'll ask the panelists to answer them after the last two questions that I asked them. So, Manisha, one quick question for you. See, not everybody is looking for a job. They don't want to uh, get a job right after their graduation, but there are a lot of people interested in starting up, or maybe looking at going back to the family businesses or enterprise. What support does Successful Futures give to such students who are not looking for a job per se, but looking at maybe starting up or family businesses or so on and so forth?
So we've taken that initiative, and there's the enterprise wing of the professional services is already put in action. Of course, we are a very small batch right now, and the students who are choosing to explore entrepreneurship are few in number. But as we grow with time, that service is also going to evolve. The facility of providing entrepreneurship support is pretty much structured. There is an enterprise team which works with students closely. They identify their requirements and work on their ideas. Within the University of Southampton framework, there is something called the 100 Big Ideas. In fact, within the first year of our, being in Delhi, in India, two of the students from Delhi campus have qualified for the 100 Big Ideas across the other Southampton campuses. So that was very, very encouraging for us. Although our numbers are small right now, The support that those students are getting is amazing. Not only do they get extended support from the alumni and the mentoring community of Southampton across the other campuses, they also get handheld to present their idea to a larger audience. In fact, we had one of our winners, a young lady called Astha, who was able to present her ideas to our members who came in for the industry conclave rather recently. And it was wonderful because through that she got networking opportunities and she was able to carry that design and that idea forward outside of Delhi NCR as well. So I think these are the things which are contributing to the network. The enterprise students, the ones who are showing interest towards that route, are introduced to a community which is of entrepreneurs. It mentors who will help them. SIP projects for those students are enabled differently so that they get an opportunity to be able to work on that aspect as their choosing, as opposed to others who may want to go through the corporate employment route or the interview route.
Right. Great. Thanks, Monisha. So one last question to Rhythm and Harsh before we open the floor for questions. Harsh, what will your advice be to students who are currently looking to join USD in terms of building their skill sets while they are at the campus?
Okay. So let me tell you one thing. When I met the CEO of British Council, Scott, and he told me one thing that whatever your age or whatever your student or profession life, you cannot skip your hard work. You have to hard work. Like he told me that he used to work 20 to 22 hours a day during his initial days. So that's why he is the CEO of British Council. So he told me that if you work hard every day, like if you want to go gym, so you have to go gym every day. You have to be constant. You have to be on time, making things yeah, we are students. We have makes mistakes. That's a part of life, and I think you should try, make mistake, and improve yourself day by day. Can help you build your career a better way, I guess.
Right. Rhythm, how about you? What will you
Yeah,
advise?
no, I think I can plus one with Harsh on that. But at Southampton, my personal experience has always called out to me for being a leader. I love being a leader, and at Southampton, I actually got the chances, multiple opportunities to be one. And I actually, right into university, I won my first election. That was the first election we had for course representative. The amount of high spirits I was in, that a whole year flew by and I didn't even get a chance to realize it. So I think these are the sort of things that you can do. If an opportunity presents, take it. Don't say no, just try it out. That is what I have learned here, that anything that you do is not big or small. In those campus walls, nothing is big or small. Everything is equal, everybody is equal, and all the opportunities that you have, you can actually straight up go to our CEO, Dr. Vishal Talwar, which has never happened to me, if I'm being honest, while my time at the UK campus. Because obviously the volume is the biggest difference, but that is what it gets you to have an enclosed room conversation with a person who is in the hundreds of most influential people in the world. I don't think there is anything else that you can require to. I don't think any Indian campuses or any other Indian universities are providing that right now. We would have industry sessions every Wednesday, and I swear on it, every Wednesday. Monisha made sure that they happened every Wednesday. So I think it's just that everybody should just have fun, create. If you have any idea, even the tiniest bit of idea, take it to the right person or take it to anybody. We have a great student experience team as well. So you can work with them. If you're artsy, either if you like to sing, if you like to swim, if you like to do anything, just set up a chat and I'm pretty sure there will be something done for you.
Great.
And
Great. Yeah.
let me think that the professors are very interactive. Like
Yeah.
you talk about personal life, they will love to listen your experience, your queries, not related to academics, but related to your personal life. If you're having issues in your personal life, or if you don't find good friends, if you have an issue with your friends, professor really help you with and even they give you very short stories or very fun story, funny and dramatic stories about their life, like one how they started as a professor, how they things go on like that. That's
I
very
think one of the, yeah, literally one of the best things that I learned in induction through Monisha was one whole day we had with her just for careers.
yeah,
One of the best things she said was, I want you to be sat at a table where you know you're uncomfortable and you don't know anybody. And that has still stayed with me the whole time in my life. We recently had an alumni dinner, and I did not sit with anybody from my university. I only sat with people whom I didn't know, and that has stayed with me for so long because it actually helps you learn. So sit at places you're uncomfortable because it will actually make you a better person.
better person.
Absolutely, some great piece of advice here for people on the call and also people who'll see this on YouTube later on. Thank you, both of you, for that wonderful piece of advice. And I totally second the fact that, the kind of personal attention which faculty and the staff at USD give to the students is second to none in Indian campuses. And that's exactly spot on that you guys talked about. Now, over to some questions. A few questions already in the chat and the Q&A section. I'll request you all to answer this. I'll read them out one by one. And if there's any more questions you want to ask audience, please type them in the chat or Q&A section. Let me go directly to the Q&A first, and then I'll come to chat. So first question is, when is the last day to apply? Which entrance test is considered for master's program? So classes start in August 24th is our orientation week, which starts for the upcoming cohort. So I think ideally the last date for you to apply would be no later than end of July. Apply earlier to be considered for scholarships. Our scholarships deadline is July 12th. So if you want to be considered for scholarships, please do apply before July 12th is my suggestion to all the people who are looking to apply for this particular cohort. In terms of entrance test, there's no test which is mandatory. But yes, if you have NMAT, GMAT, CAT, or any other test, it could be a plus for your overall evaluation purposes. What structured support does the university provide in areas such as CV building, LinkedIn optimization? Monisha, would you want to take that?
Definitely.
Mm.
So, like I mentioned earlier on, but there is a structured approach for the master students. We focus on all of these activities within term one because that's most critical for them, and that's also the timeline in which Indian organizations typically do early hiring. For the undergraduate students, that typically will start happening in year two and year three, and that's when the interview preparation, the mock interviews, CV building, career counseling. Many times students are confused about what they would like to do versus where is it that they would want to reach. Many times you have to be able to explain to them with the eyes of a recruiter, saying that yes, you may want to get into an analyst mode or an associate mode or into investment banking, but maybe that's not going to be possible as the first step that you take in the organization. So I think that is something that we called as a structured approach to career counseling and career advisory sessions, is what we call internally. And that happens at different timelines, but the approach is similar, whether it is for undergraduates or whether it is for postgraduate students.
Great. Thanks, Monisha. There's a question for you, Harsh. Since you're from MSc International Management, what industry tools, platforms, and practical learning opportunities are available to MSc IM students to build skills relevant to consulting strategy and business analytics, like MSc Finance's Bloomberg Terminals? So, what other platforms you had access to, Harsh? If you could just touch upon them briefly. Yeah.
We have Power BI access. It was a 2 day master class also, and we also have a Strata. And if a student are open to have more tools, university gonna provide you. If you ask them, it's a very better way. If, even I asked about the Power BI, so university provided us. So I guess if you have any other tools which university don't have, you can ask or you can talk to the student experience team, so they can provide you with a better way.
Absolutely. We have access to resources not just from India campus, but also all over of the UK and Malaysia campuses. In fact, our library is completely online, and you have access to the entire library from the UK campus on your laptops right here in India. So you ask for a tool, and we'll be happy to get it for you. That's the answer which Harsh is giving. Uh, so there's a question. Any one of you can take that. I'm an introvert student, little bit shy while talking. How can I overcome if I enroll with UG? Is university helping with that? So I'm sure you might have batchmates. Monisha, I'm sure you would have seen such students. What is the action which we take in that case?
Okay, I can answer that, but in case one of the students wants to open it, I'm okay. Rhythm, Harsh, would you want to open with this answer?
Okay, let me start. I was also not that good with speaking and communications. Also, during when I met Monisha and when she take personal interaction, I was very shy. I was not talking with fluency also. So when you have a group assignment, when you have to talk, when you have to present your what you did in your present work, so it helps you to improve yourself with when you have 50 students in class and you have to speak about what you did in your 5 days of assignment. Like during my there was a subject in IM, like it is operation strategies operation, where you have to tell about your case studies, what you know gone through with your case study, what is the output. And it will be a individual for you, so you have to speak. There's nothing option that you just have to write it down. You have to speak, you have to stand for yourself, you have to and there is a marks for also. And if you got a good marks, you want to be a good if you want good marks in your exams or your studies, you have to speak, you have to out through. And if you have any queries, you can also we also have a session with for the LinkedIn and for the communication.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's also help us during our interviews also. And
with
for
yeah, so we had it with Aanchal Chopra, who was the
uh,
regional head of LinkedIn, and now she's gone to join Google. So
Google.
yeah,
So I think I'll just add to what Harsh and Rhythm are saying. I think Amit, being the fact that it's a smaller cohort right now, we are very conscious about the facilities that we are extending to the students, and we want everybody to be able to gain equally from the facilities and the framework that the university has. There are students who are shy. There are students who may have a little bit of challenges in terms of learning or adapting to the learning style that the UK curriculum expects them to have. Besides smaller work groups, there are also individual faculty advisors, or what we call as personal academic tutors that all the students have, which give them individual time and attention outside of the classroom, which further reinforces the academic framework that we have. Additionally, there is also the e-mentoring platform that we have, where students can buddy up with an alumni across the globe, who is going to help them navigate through the many times the emotions of teaching and learning more than anything else. I think that also sometimes becomes a big thing for some of the students who need well-being or mental wellness support. There are those facilities which are built into the campus infrastructure as well.
Thank you, Monisha. There's a question by Smar, is it a residential campus? I want to visit the campus once. Can you share the exact location of the campus, sir? Yeah, Smar, I have shared it, typed it in the reply and shared the address. We are a residential campus. Our residential facilities are located 20 minutes away from the campus, and we have a shuttle running thrice a day, both ways, for you to commute to the campus. Our residential block is a separate block that we have, where we have 50 students accommodation. It's a dedicated building with security, with total protocols of safety, health, hygiene, all in the building. So you are free to visit the campus and also visit of restaurant facilities. We'll be happy to host you. Walk in or reach out to one of us on LinkedIn, and we can arrange a visit for you to both the hostel, residential facilities, as well as the campus. Please, I think one of us will reach out to you after the call to arrange a visit. Uh, then are there elective courses or specific minors that will make more competitive in choosing field? So you have for certain programs certain exemptions for certifications. So for example, if you take economics or finance or certain courses, you may have exemptions for courses for ACCA, CIMA, and other such courses. So those specific questions you can ask us, reach out to us, and we can connect you with the faculty and also give you the specific answers regarding the minors or other exemptions that you might have. What companies and roles have graduates secured? What have been the typical salary outcomes, and how is this 1 year MSc viewed by employers compared to a traditional MBA? I think Monisha has answered that question a bit briefly, and we can't tell the exact stats because the placements is still ongoing. We might release a report sometime once the placements are done, but I'll ask Monisha to maybe reinforce a bit, tell some more stats which she can say at least on this call, maybe the names of the companies and some indicative outcomes. Yeah.
Sure. No worries. I appreciate the question, but I think what's important for us also at the core of the university is that there are companies which are engaging with us across a various range of initiatives, whether they are through the industry projects, whether it is through internships or guest lectures or full-time recruitment opportunities. The inaugural batch or the first batch is going to graduate only this year. It hasn't yet graduated, and that is the master's bunch of finance and international management students. Organizations which have currently completed their engagement with our students for internships or placement opportunities are companies like HSBC, Deloitte, LEK Consulting, Grant Thornton, Investec, JLL, Zomato, Sodexo, Genpact, Inseedo. These are some of the names that we have already closed selection processes with. But since this batch is still in term 3, we are continuing to expand our network, and we are seeing a growing interest from organizations to engage with our students for full-time placement opportunities or for internship-linked PPO opportunities. Uh, what is also important is that the batch of international management or finance related students are currently in a very good space of CTC. We are averaging between 12 to 13 lakhs right now, which is commendable for a batch which hasn't even graduated and which is for a first time campus. So I hope that answered your question. I also see a question around how the 1 year MSc is viewed by employers compared to a traditional MBA. Now, there will always be certain organizations which will have a traditional approach to hiring through the 2 year MBA program. And those are traditional organizations that hire smaller numbers or niche numbers in a very specific space, whether it is example a BlackRock, or whether it is example a Citibank or a BNY, which have very, very small campus engagement numbers, and which is why they go through the traditional MBA route. We are seeing a very positive reaction to the 1 year MSc. The only challenge that we are having to move ourselves around is the timeline, because our batch comes in September, and that's when the hiring at the Indian recruiters is also on, and which is why the intense preparation for being ready for interviews within the first term, especially for the postgraduate students, is going to be both a challenge and an opportunity. So I hope that answered the question that came in.
Sure. Thanks. Uh, then Palak has a question. What is the average CTC for MSc? I think you have already answered that. So Palak, you have got your answer. Uh, when will the interview for scholarship be conducted? So Palak, that could be specific to your case. I have typed in my email address in the chat window to write a mail, and we'll get back to you on your specific interview scheduled. What will be the revised hostel fee for students? Okay. So revised hostel fee is 5.25 lakhs all inclusive, including your taxes, electricity bill, inclusive of your laundry, food, stay, shuttle, everything. That's the revised hostel fee for for 1 year, and which includes everything end to end. You don't have to bring any uh, utilities. Everything is part of the utilities, including housekeeping, your meals, your laundry, your electricity, and so on and so forth. Got a mail regarding admission camps, what docs are required. So you can reach out to the email address that I mentioned. If you have any queries, you can reply to the same email, and we'll can clarify your confusion on any specific documents that you might have. Scholarship has marks review. Scholarship has a holistic review, including an interview. We just don't look at marks. We also look at your interview and your suitability for the program, your SOP, and so on and so forth. So it is a comprehensive evaluation of your application profile. So we have answered all the questions and we have gone significantly over time. My apologies to Monisha, Harsh, and Rhythm for uh, stretching beyond time, 7 minutes to be precise, but it has been worthwhile. Thank you, Monisha, Rhythm, and Harsh. Your insights have been invaluable, and I'm sure with the kind of questions we have seen from the audience, they have been interested throughout and they have learned a lot from this session. Thank you to all of you, all three of you, for taking time out from your busy schedules. I know Harsh and Rhythm, you're doing at your workplace, and on Monisha for staying back so late in the evening. And thank you once again. And wish
Thank you,
all
Thank
the very
Amit.
Thank
best
you.
you.
to
Thank
you.
you very
Thank
much.
you,
It was
everybody.
wonderful. It was wonderful interacting, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, Harsh. Thank you, Rhythm.
And
Thank you, Monisha.
Yeah, everyone.
thank you, Giri, for
Bye,
setting it up.
everybody.
Bye,
Yeah.
Good
everyone.
luck in your future endeavors.